Welcome to Streaming News Network, where we deliver balanced reporting with the facts that matter. The Morning Edition by Claude McDaniel. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Federal immigration authorities have arrested an undocumented immigrant working on an agricultural property in Thermal, California, after discovering he allegedly had a history of serious violent criminal charges. According to United States Customs and Border Protection, agents assigned to the Indio station took the man into custody during an enforcement operation. Officials say he is a citizen of Mexico and had been employed as an agricultural worker in the small Riverside County community. Authorities allege the suspect had previously faced charges including rape, sodomy involving an allegedly drugged victim, assault with a deadly weapon, and attempting to prevent or intimidate a witness or victim. Officials released a photograph of the man but did not publicly identify him by name. Customs and Border Protection stated that individuals accused of violent crimes should not be allowed to hide among lawful workers and emphasized that protecting communities remains a priority. The arrest comes as immigration enforcement operations continue across California's Coachella Valley, where recent actions have drawn both public support and criticism. Some community leaders argue increased enforcement has disrupted families and local businesses, while others believe it strengthens public safety. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. 2 more convictions connected to the 2020 plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer have been overturned by the Michigan Court of Appeals, marking another legal development in one of the nation's most closely watched domestic terrorism cases. The appeals court ruled that convictions against Pete Musico and Paul Beller for providing material support for terrorism could not stand because, under current Michigan law, kidnapping is not specifically defined as a violent felony for purposes of that statute. The decision follows a similar ruling issued last month that overturned the conviction of Joe Morrison on the same legal grounds. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel criticized the court's interpretation of the law and announced plans to appeal the decisions to the Michigan Supreme Court. The original investigation led to multiple arrests after authorities alleged a group had conspired to kidnap Governor Whitmer from her vacation home. Several defendants were convicted in federal court, including Adam Fox, who is serving a prison sentence for conspiracy. The case has remained controversial due to questions raised about the role of confidential informants and undercover federal agents during the investigation. Defense attorneys have argued that government involvement amounted to entrapment, while prosecutors have maintained that the defendants willingly participated in a genuine criminal conspiracy. Courts have upheld the primary federal conspiracy convictions. The latest rulings affect specific state terrorism-related convictions and do not overturn the broader federal convictions in the case. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. Independent journalist Nick Shirley is defending the credibility of his investigative reporting following another guilty plea connected to Minnesota's massive Feeding Our Future fraud investigation. Speaking during an interview at Freedom Fest in Las Vegas, Shirley reflected on his rise from creating YouTube videos to producing investigative reports that have gained millions of views and widespread attention across social media. He described his work as a blend of independent journalism and documentary-style reporting focused on first-hand sources and publicly available government records. Shirley said his investigation into the Minnesota fraud case became one of his most widely viewed projects, attracting attention from prominent public figures and helping bring national focus to the allegations. His latest comments came after Fahima Age Mahamud entered a guilty plea in connection with the broader investigation into alleged fraud involving government-funded child nutrition programs. Shirley argued that the growing number of convictions and guilty pleas supports the accuracy of his reporting, stating, "Numbers don't lie, and convictions don't lie." Beyond the Minnesota case, Shirley said he continues to investigate issues including illegal immigration, the fentanyl crisis, and international crime, often traveling to high-risk locations in pursuit of original reporting. The broader Feeding Our Future investigation remains one of the largest fraud prosecutions involving pandemic-era federal nutrition program funds, with numerous defendants having pleaded guilty or been convicted while additional cases continue through the courts. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. 2 teachers at a Miami, Florida, charter school have been arrested after a violent confrontation inside a classroom that ended with pepper spray being used. According to police, both educators, who previously had a relationship and share a child, met inside a classroom at the Seed School of Miami after one teacher reportedly left a note requesting to speak with the other. Investigators say the discussion escalated into a physical altercation. Police allege that Turad Torrance repeatedly struck Odiria Shea Biggins in the head, causing her to fall, hit a wall, and lose consciousness. After regaining consciousness, investigators say Biggins went to her vehicle, retrieved pepper spray, returned to the classroom, and sprayed Torrance. Surveillance video reportedly showed Torrance leaving the classroom while experiencing irritation to his eyes after the incident. Biggins was arrested on charges including discharging a weapon on school grounds, related to the use of pepper spray, and domestic violence battery. Torrance was arrested separately and charged with domestic violence. Authorities have not released additional details about what prompted the confrontation, and it remains unclear whether students were present during the incident. The investigation is continuing. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. A Minnesota city is facing a federal civil rights lawsuit over claims that officials violated a Christian street preacher's First Amendment right by requiring him to pay a vendor fee before expressing his views on public property. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of Brian Conwell, who says he peacefully displayed a pro-life sign in a public parking lot during a community farmers market in Benson, Minnesota. According to the complaint, Conwell was not selling merchandise, collecting donations, or obstructing anyone. He says he simply stood with a sign and spoke only with people who voluntarily approached him. Court filings allege that city officials instructed Conwell to either pay a $20 vendor fee or leave the area. After refusing to pay, he received 2 criminal trespassing citations on separate occasions. If convicted, Conwell could face penalties of up to 90 days in jail and a fine of $1,000 for each citation. The lawsuit argues that requiring a fee for non-commercial speech on public property violates constitutional protections for free speech, religious expression, and equal treatment under the law. The city of Benson had not publicly responded to the lawsuit at the time of this report. The case will now move through the federal court system, where judges will determine whether the city's actions complied with constitutional protections. This is Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network. Authorities in Capitola, California, are investigating the fatal stabbing of a well-known local artist in what police describe as a random act of violence. Police say 73-year-old Rachel Summers was found with multiple stab wounds in the parking lot outside the food court at Capitola Mall shortly before 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. Despite emergency response efforts, Summers died from her injuries. Investigators have arrested 19-year-old Tyler Laybelt in connection with the attack. He has been charged with murder and additional felony offenses. Court records also indicate prosecutors have filed a violent felony enhancement allegation that could increase potential penalties if he is convicted. Police say there is no evidence that the suspect and the victim knew one another, and detectives continue to believe the attack was random. Summers was widely known in the community as an artist and manager of the Art of Santa Cruz Gallery. Following her death, the gallery announced it would remain closed for the remainder of the week as friends, family, and community members mourn her loss. In a public statement, the Capitola Police Department extended condolences to the victims' loved ones and described the incident as a tragic and senseless act of violence. The investigation remains active, and authorities have not released additional details regarding a possible motive. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Academy Award-winning filmmaker Ron Howard is opening up about one of the most difficult periods in his family's life, reflecting on his brother Clint Howard's battle with addiction and the regrets he still carries. During a candid interview, Ron Howard said he encouraged his parents to give his younger brother greater independence while they were growing up. Looking back, he now wonders whether he unintentionally discouraged them from intervening sooner as Clint began experimenting with drugs. Howard described watching his brother's addiction worsen as a heartbreaking experience, recalling periods of drug-related mental health episodes, legal troubles, repeated attempts at rehabilitation, and the possibility of homelessness. He admitted there were times when the family feared Clint might not survive. Ron Howard credited their father with helping Clint rebuild his life by offering support, structure, and what he described as tough love after Clint decided he wanted to recover. For his part, Clint Howard rejected the idea that his brother should blame himself. He said Ron cared deeply about him and had tried to offer guidance throughout those difficult years, adding that ultimately the responsibility for recovery rested with him. Today, the brothers remain close both personally and professionally, with Ron continuing to cast Clint in film and television projects and praising his talent and professionalism. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. President Donald Trump is asking a federal appeals court to issue an emergency order requiring writer Jean Carroll to return the $5.6 million he recently paid following a civil judgment. The payment was made earlier this month after a federal judge ordered funds held in escrow to be released to Carroll. Trump's legal team now argues that the money should be returned while he continues seeking further review of the case. A federal jury in 2023 found Trump liable in a civil case for sexually abusing and defaming Carroll over an incident she said occurred in the mid-1990s. Trump has consistently denied the allegations and has maintained that the verdict was wrongly decided. In a separate civil trial in 2024, another jury found Trump liable for additional defamatory statements about Carroll and awarded her more than $83 million in damages. Trump is also appealing that judgment. Carroll's attorneys have asked the court to reject the latest request, arguing that the Supreme Court has already declined to review the earlier judgment and that previous attempts to delay payment have been unsuccessful. The appeals process remains ongoing, and no ruling has yet been issued on Trump's latest request. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Veteran actor and singer Mike Preston, best known for portraying Pappagallo in the classic film Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, has died at the age of 93. His wife, Josie Preston, confirmed that he passed away on June 8 at his home in Florida. No cause of death has been publicly released. Born Jack Davis in London, Preston first gained recognition as a recording artist, earning 3 top 40 hit songs in the United Kingdom during the late 1950s. He later moved to Australia, where he built a successful acting career in television before transitioning to feature films. Preston became widely known for his memorable performance opposite Mel Gibson in George Miller's 1981 post-apocalyptic action film Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. He later appeared in several films and television series, including Metalstorm, The Destruction of Jaredson, Hot Pursuit, Alien Nation, Highlander, and Law and Order. His final credited performance came in 2002 as a voice actor for the video game The Getaway. Preston's passing comes shortly after the death of fellow Mad Max 2 actor Kjell Nielsen, who portrayed the film's iconic villain, Lord Humongous. Mike Preston is survived by his wife and 2 daughters.
Thank you for viewing Streaming News Network videos, and also short and special reports. Please like, subscribe, and tap the bell to be notified of additional reports.